Welcome to the stream. What is good, everybody? It's definitely gonna be a fun show today. Like, I got some shit talking to do because now I'm invested in making Osmond Gold and Hassan Piker my arch nemesis. Right? I'm neutral. I'm true neutral. I'm so neutral that I'm showing you how neutral has been disregarded in the whole system that you exist in called duality, and that doesn't exist. And because Osman and Hassan Piker exist in the reality of duality, there's no way that, for one, Osman Gold is true neutral. Nah, he is definitely not. He very into totalitarianism, okay? He into you do what the government says, you work for the government, you're a slave to the government, and not based on the Constitution, and that the government works for the people and that the people do not work for the government. See, and it's funny because in certain instances, he will back the Constitution and like for freedom of speech and all this stuff, but only when the Constitution benefits him will he do that. If the Constitution doesn't benefit him, he will act like they don't, the people that he's talking against don't have the right to do exactly what he does with the Constitution. Both sides are wrong in actuality anyways. All right, Iranian president has gone insane. Now, this is by Osman, and I really don't care what he's talking about because I know in this video, he's going to at least say one thing that allows me to explain how insane both the left and the right are, and how Osman cannot be neutral if he's against the left and defending the right. Both sides are insane. Both sides are based on a false paradigm and based in lies and half-truths and manipulation of your perspective and perception.
Iranian soldiers about to be puking and internally bleeding. I'm gonna be real. Like if I was part of the IRGC and I saw what happened in Venezuela, I would be roaching the fuck out. I would be gone, especially after they got all their nuke stuff blown up too. Like, I'd be freaking the fuck out.
All right, it is 9 minutes after the top of the hour, and the president of Iran is warning the United States that any attacks on their supreme leader could constitute an all-out war, as President Trump calls for an end to the Ayatollah's reign.
So Chief Foreign Correspondent Trey Yingst all over this. He joins us from Tel Aviv with the latest. Hey, Trey.
Yeah, hey guys, good morning. Over the weekend, Iran's supreme leader continued to attack President Trump and the United States of America. The Ayatollah Khamenei
On Twitter.
Yeah, which means
addressed a crowd on Saturday that was chanting death to America.
Look, it just shows, dude, like how insane the world is that political powers now argue on Twitter against each other.
America and death to Israel, as he called President Trump a criminal. The remarks, which were broadcast.
President Trump is a criminal, and so is him. He's a criminal too. They're all criminals. They're actually working together. Kind of. Like, they're attempting to make a one world order. The new world order has almost succeeded. All of these people are bad though, because you're stuck in duality and that's not real.
On state-controlled media, followed a slew of X posts where he falsely claimed the U.S. orchestrated the mass killing and chaos in Iran.
We consider the U.S. president a criminal for the casualties, damages, and the slander he inflicted on the Iranian nation.
I'm not sure if what he did, if they really had nukes or were about to make nukes. I don't know about any of that, because I'm not trying to pay attention to the story, because that story is all distraction. What U.S. is doing, what Iran is doing, what Russia is doing, what China is doing, what all these countries are doing is a part of your a part of the distraction, so that way you can easily be controlled. Language manipulation has been going on longer than you've been alive, so much longer that there's no way you could have escaped being brainwashed.
In an interview with Politico, President Trump responded saying it's time to look for new leadership in Iran. And on Sunday, Iran's President Masoud Pezeshkian warned that any aggression against the supreme leader would be considered an all-out war. As the country's leadership is discussing more about the protests, new video provided to Fox News by a source in Tehran shows Iranians gathered outside of a morgue demanding answers about their loved ones.
Yeah, because all the people were getting killed. That's why they turned off the internet, obviously. That's what happened.
The Iranian regime is now admitting at least 5,000 people were killed during these demonstrations.
Anybody could see
the true number is likely much higher and could be in the tens of thousands, according to some estimates.
It's probably in the tens of thousands.
The predominantly Kurdish Iranian city of Kermanshah told Fox News that he saw bodies in the streets. And
now, as far as I'm aware, they've killed, Iran government has killed like 16 or 20,000 protesters.
That security forces came and took some of the bodies away. Around the world, protests and vigils have been held for those Iranians who were killed and the thousands that remain imprisoned following the crackdown.
Surely they're going to let them out of jail, right?
Message here is keep pressure
Surely
on
they
Iran.
will.
Yeah, and what's really important is, as the vigil tonight is calling for, is all political prisoners need to be free. So President Trump should set that as a new red line to have the Iranian regime release 50,000 protesters, peaceful protesters that were.
My bad. I was in the middle of the screen. I forgot that I have buttons now and I have all this cool stuff I can do. And so, yeah, cool. All right. Back to the video.
Arrested by the regime.
There's nothing that you can do. You have to get rid of them, because if you don't get rid of them, they're just going to go after and get these people later on. Like, it's not like they can't just kill them later. So they'll do this to make Trump relent on them, and then they're going to turn around and start doing the same thing again.
Wow, sounds like he's talking about our own government. Dude, trust me. Osman doesn't care what the government does to you. You're in the wrong. If the government is doing something to you, as far as Osman's concerned, you did something wrong. The government doesn't do anything wrong. Our own government doesn't. But look, this government's wrong. He can agree that Iran's government is wrong for what it's doing, but it can't agree that a woman doesn't deserve to get shot in the face because she's yelling and screaming or whatever. She wasn't even yelling and screaming. She was talking regularly. She's blocking a road, bro. That doesn't deserve for you to get shot in the face, bro. I don't care what she was doing. Even if she was obstructing justice. Obstructing justice doesn't carry a sentence of get shot in the face with no due process.
Like, it's not like you can just, you pinky promised. That doesn't mean, it's not how it works. They're just going to change their mind.
So we're asking the White House, keep the pressure on Iran.
Here in Israel, the military and political echelons continue to hold consultations about the possibility of war with Iran. Guys, back to you.
I don't think there's going to be a war.
Trey, the death toll you kind of indicated is higher than listed. I've heard 16,500. I've heard 300,000 have been hurt.
See, 16,000. I was right. About 16,000 to 20,000.
What numbers are you getting?
Yeah, the death toll is far higher than we even know. The Iranians themselves are admitting 5,000 killed amid these demonstrations. Human rights organizations say the number could be north of 12 or even 16,000. The issue here is an internet blackout making it...
I was off for the scale. It's 12 to 16, not 16 to 20. I was on the wrong 4,000 scale.
Incredibly difficult to get information.
Well, it's just like, logically, why would they turn off the internet? They obviously turned it off so they could kill their people. So there wouldn't be as much of an international outrage over it. That's clearly what happened. I don't see how anybody would not come to that immediate conclusion.
I can agree with that conclusion on this fact.
Speaking with Iranians who are using Starlink satellites.
Look, I'm not against Osman. I just know Osman is rising, and gaining and rising, and he is a persister of the false duality, and so is Hassan. Tomorrow, I'm going to do a Hassan video. The first thing. See, I'm starting a whole little thing. Tomorrow, it's Hassan. Today, it's Osman. And I'm going to be ping-ponging back and forth. Some double teaming, except I'm by myself. I don't need another to beat both of these douches.
Suspicious, yeah.
And they say that they have seen hundreds killed in their cities.
Holy fuck.
Kermanshah in the predominantly Kurdish area of Iran. Further south of Tehran, in Isfahan, in the capital.
What gets me is the rest of the world is silent. We have a literal crime against humanity happening in the U.S. So the only ones wanting to do something about it. The global community are a bunch of cucks, and their opinions on everything should be ignored. I think that people Yeah, I mean, I think you're right. Yeah, true.
Tehran,
Yeah.
you're getting similar reports, and also horrific images are being shared showing how these security forces opened fire on crowds of people aiming at their eyes, trying to blind the demonstrators.
Of course.
And so while the Iranian regime is trying to block us from reporting, we're doing everything we can to get around those hurdles so that we can bring this information to the world.
And to that point, Trey, yesterday on this program, we interviewed an Iranian-American, Moj Madara, who has a lot of family still inside Iran. She put that death toll 16 to 20,000, she said. And I asked her,
what are... I wasn't wrong. 16. Someone put 16 to 20,000.
The people in Iran right now really focused on needing, and they said that Starlink has got to continue to come, and that's the only way the true story is getting out. Are you hearing any more about the Starlink efforts to keep those coming into the country?
Yeah, Griff, absolutely. These Starlink terminals are the only way.
Dude, look, I just want to know, right? Is he really in? Oh, he in Israel. Okay, never mind. My bad. He in Tel Aviv.
That much of Iran is able to communicate with the outside world, and the regime knows this. And so I've talked with sources who say that security forces are going.
Well, they're even trying to jam the Starlink too, in order to like stop more people from communicating and being able to get messages out of Iran.
To door in major cities.
It goes to show absolutely useless the UN is. Yeah, no, the US should never pay attention to the UN. Like, the UN is only useful for bullying small countries in Africa. That's it.
Trying to look for Starlink terminals to confiscate them and then arrest the people that are using them to communicate with the outside world. There are a number of SIM cards from other countries that are also working in Iran, giving a small group of people the ability to phone the outside world. But it truly is an internet blackout, and it's creating a scenario where we know just 1 or 2% of the reality on the ground.
Yeah, exactly.
And the images that we're getting now are predominantly coming from state media, and so they're certainly stereotyped.
I wonder what that's going to be.
In the comments that you heard.
Oh, state media. Look. Notice his reaction. Don't worry. Trust me, this is a series I'm starting. Don't worry. There's going to be plenty of references later on. Just notice how he reacted to the state-owned propagandist information coming out of Iran. Yet, he must not get, or he's an actor like everyone else on the internet. I'm not an actor, by the way. I'm never an actor. I'm ReDsFallin. I've created the character, which is still one. I'm not a multiple thinking. My real name or government name, enslavement name, number, whatever you want to call it, everything is one thing. I'm all one thing. I'm always one thing all the time. I just created a character for the internet called ReDsFallin. And I got another character for my lyricist name and making music. And that's a whole nother persona. It's still one. That persona is the same as this persona, and this is the same as my government name persona. There's just different names for different flavors.
Heard earlier from Iran's supreme leader directly taunting President Trump, who has called for the regime to stop this crackdown on protesters and to immediately halt any sort of executions that were planned.
Trey, what about the executions? Last week, there was supposed to be that 26-year-old, 24-year-old young man that was supposed to be...
Yeah, so Israel's paying for the Starlink, regardless of what's good or bad. Would this not help fit the narrative that Israel is fomenting the riots? No, I thought Elon Musk was paying for it. Starlink isn't owned by Israel. It's owned by Elon Musk.
Hanged, but then there were 800 more that were supposed to be executed.
As far as I know.
Got involved and warned them against that. What's the latest there?
What we understand right now is that that was a temporary measure to stop these executions
providing it
in
for
Iran,
free.
and it's something the Trump administration is going to have to watch closely, understanding that the Iranian regime has a long history of executing political prisoners, executing people without trial, and that is the concern of the thousands.
Executing people without trial. Wait a second. Isn't that what happened to someone just recently in Minneapolis? Minnesota? Minnesota? I don't know exactly if it was in Minneapolis where Renee Good was shot. All I know is dude definitely didn't have to kill her, and like the fact that it's a whole debate. It's going to come out, bro. It's going to come out. Further investigation. I don't know which side's going to win because it doesn't really matter. Left, right, left. It doesn't really matter. I definitely know that she wasn't trying to run him over. You can tell by body language of how she was steering the steering wheel. pulling the steering wheel, moving the steering wheel, her body language, all that stuff. You can see it on the cop's camera that she was not trying to run him over. She was trying to go away from him. As you gotta think, she was going, he's going this way. She immediately wanted to go this way. She didn't hesitate. She didn't, no. She didn't turn and stop and point the tires at him. She immediately turned all the way to the right. Anyways, I know I'm using Renee as an example to what we're talking about here.
Of Iranian protesters who were taken to these prisons and jails across the country, that they could be killed at a later date once international attention shifts away from Iran. So the message that we're receiving from not only Iranian...
That's exactly what they're trying to do. They're trying to wait it out so it leaves the news cycle, and then they're going to just systematically kill all of the people that were protesting against them. That's what they're going to do. I mean, if I were the Iranian government, that's what I would do. I would just say, like, yeah, let's turn off the internet. Nobody will be able to talk about...
See what I'm saying? If I was the Iranian government, I'd kill everybody. I'm pretty sure Osman Gold is pretty messed up in the head. Or a plant. Like, seriously, his dad was a professor, bro, and he worked at the IRS. So, chances of him being a plant, possible. Same thing with Hassan. One, we'll get to that.
This, and then we'll just take the names down of all these people that are problematic, and then we'll just kill them next month, right? Or
all I noticed very much, right? Here's the thing I noticed: pattern recognition, right? Pattern recognition, right? Here, what's pattern recognition? Pattern recognition. Okay, look. So, do you ever notice that Osman Gold had his room was a mess? I know it's clean now. I get it. He cleaned up his act, right? For a long time, his room was very messy. Everything was disgusting, right? But his beard was his beard looks the same now as it did then, but his room's clean. So I find that very interesting, right? I find that very interesting that he maintained his beard very well every day, but didn't clean any of his house really.
2 months from now or something. Like, I mean, that's clearly what you should do. Like, if you were them, that's what you would do.
Demonstrators, but also the Iranian diaspora.
And see, I don't have a beard because my hair doesn't grow like that. But see, you see, I have hair on my face. I get how it grows. Every man gets how it grows. That means he has to trim or cut or shave his face and neck at least every day. Or to every other day to keep it looking like it looks. And he has to do that consistently. Especially with how much he streams. Do you see what I mean?
Around the world is to continue speaking about Iran over concern not just of those who were killed, but also those who remain in Iranian prisons.
Yeah, I thought that 24-year-old was beaten to death in prison. That's a report I had heard. We also know that David...
So he wasn't executed. They just killed him in prison. Okay, that's great.
Arnia,
yeah, that's not good.
That's bad. Is now in...
He's talking in doublespeak. You guys need to learn what doublespeak is. Newspeak, 1984, Orwellian language manipulation, bro. It happened before English existed. I'm just throwing this out there. So when I say language manipulation, you have to comprehend I'm coming from a perspective that knows that it's older than the English language.
Florida, meeting with Steve Witkoff and others. So real quick, Trey, why do you think Netanyahu went public and said, we really don't think the president should act now? Why do you think he tried to make sure the president didn't act?
I don't know why.
There are a couple things to consider here, but when you look to last summer during June of 2025, there was a 12-day war between Israel and Iran, and we were reporting here on the ground in the Middle East amid that incoming ballistic missile fire. Around half of the missiles that were shot down were actually shot down by U.S. vessels and air defense systems who were helping the Israelis to ensure that their airspace was clear amid this.
Oh, they want to have the boats over there so they can stop it preemptively. That's probably what it is.
One of a number of reasons why the Israelis may have asked for a delay in a possible strike on Iran, understanding that if this leads to an all-out war, the Israelis are going to need the assistance of the United States.
The same thing. Israel attacked Iran.
Trey, thank you very much.
The Trump administration decided against the military intervention because the Israeli government and their counterparts told them not to do that. But Donald Trump did say he will take strong actions if the Iranian government begins executing those protesters. Here's the...
I think that you just can't trust them. Like, at this point, I mean, like, if you've got your guys out there on the street, you've turned off the internet, and they're just killing people. Like, there's enough videos and, like, images that have come out already that have, like, just piles of body bags of people. I mean, it's pretty obvious that people are getting killed en masse over there.
Yeah.
So, like, just imagine how bad it actually is. I mean, if you're going to do something, now's the time to do something.
Governor.
But if they want to have the boats get over there first, I mean, I guess that makes sense, sure. I mean, like, from a logical perspective.
Pennsylvania, Josh Shapiro.
More broadly, as a Jewish leader yourself, are you surprised that we're not seeing more demonstrations in support of Iranian people, for instance, trying to liberate themselves from this oppressive regime, like we saw with protesters rallying for Palestine when Israel was being accused of genocide?
Well, the reason why is because leftist people have been...
Not accused. It's already, like, you have to comprehend, bro. Both sides do not have a problem with slaughtering you for their agendas.
Been captured by Islam, and they view Islam as a good thing. So if they see Islamic regimes falling apart, they will actually fall off on the side of being on the same side of an Islamic regime. That's the reason why. It's so weird. Yeah.
I don't think it matters that I'm Jewish when I say this. I think what matters is that we should all stand up and acknowledge the extraordinary...
Wait a second. Is Ben Shapiro and Josh Shapiro brothers or something? Is Ben Shapiro and Josh Shapiro brothers? No. Nor are they closely related. Okay. Just checking.
Bravery that we're seeing from the Iranian people who are taking to the streets, knowing that their lives could be cut short by this repressive regime who are out killing these protesters.
This is insane.
I think it is extraordinary what we're seeing in Iran.
No, it is. It's obviously insane.
Interesting. He's on a book tour. He is talking about that. There are a few things where he overlaps with the president. That seems to be...
Far left activists largely silent on Iran protests. Again, that's because they're too busy trying to defend pedophiles and rapists in America.
So is the right.
Being deported.
One of them.
So is the right.
It's a pretty great point Jackie had.
Comprehend. The right doesn't care about what the left has been doing with the Somalia fraud, because what the left has been doing with the Somalia fraud has already obviously been helping the right side too. Comprehend the Somalia fraud, I think, has been going on over a decade. That means both Democrat and Republican presidents were in the office during the time of which this incidents were taking place. And so therefore, I'm gonna get you. Look, I don't care how long it takes. I'm here. Like, look, I'm here. Like Osman says, I don't have nothing. I'm doing this forever. I'm here, bro. I'm working out, so I'm gonna be able to do this regardless if I get paid money or not, or if anyone watches me. Because that way, I don't have to stress about it. I know I'm good. I know I'm good to do this. I know whether you watch or don't watch is relevant. And there's so many things I'm doing outside of just this.
You're getting people who are murdered in the street, being shot in the back of the head, pregnant woman being assassinated just for standing up to have some semblance of rights, and they're being killed. Where are the protests in New York City? You know why? There's no organizers. Can you imagine? They're worried about political agendas. They're not worried about the health and welfare of people that they've never met, like they pretend to care about the people of Gaza. They've been shown to stand for nothing.
Well, and the point's pretty obvious that the reason why
they stand against America. They hate them.
Look, they're standing. Everyone is standing currently for whatever you were brainwashed to stand for, okay? Osman was brainwashed to defend what he's about to defend. That's why he constantly attacks Karens and the left and blah, blah, blah. He's brainwashed to do so. And the people that are on the left are brainwashed to fight back against Osman. And you guys don't see it. And you have to comprehend, I am not alone. Not alone in this, bro. There's starting to be millions of people that are starting to register that both sides are crazy and that for you to continue your rhetoric is insane and just shows you're not listening to anyone anyways, regardless of what side you're on.
America, and they will advocate for whatever is in the worst interest of America, and like whatever is antithetical to basically Western beliefs. That's where their value system comes from. Is it's completely reactionary versus the civilization that they live in. It's a power trip. I mean, kind of, yeah, sure.
The protest.
That's really all there is to it.
Over
Super
Gaza
simple.
is because it's not involving.
Even though it's stupid, there it is.
If the message were anti-Israel, then the same crowd would be out there, but they're not because it's Iran and it's crickets.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I think that's it. Yeah, absolutely. Contrarians? Well, they're not contrarians. They just hate America. It's just that simple. Like, it's not. It's really...
To hate is to hate yourself. To hate anything is to hate yourself. Because everything is you. America doesn't exist. It is a fictional place created by your oppressors, your mental oppressors. The system of control is duality, all of it. And so therefore, you should learn that that is what is happening so you can escape your enslavement. And that's just the beginning. Just registering what I just said and accepting that is only the first step, baby step, whatever you want to call it. It's the beginning. Nowhere near close have I even become to figure out what's actually going on here. I just know what's not going on here.
Not that complicated, okay? Like, this is more footage here. This is protesters on, this is live ammunition on January 8th. So this is 12 days ago, or more than that, 11 days ago. Less. Look. See? Man. Gunshot? Absolutely. Yep, I'm in full acceleration mode.
That's freaking wild.
Yeah, they're literally
bro.
just shooting bullets at the protesters. That's nuts. There should be crowds of leftists pushing for U.S. intervention. Well, you can't do that. I mean, they can't advocate for that because it's something that's negative towards the West, right? Or positive towards the West. And positive towards Israel, too. So because it's in Israel's best interest that Iran gets freed, unfortunately, we can't free Iran. You can't help Iran because now that would be helping Israel. And actually have been hacked by the opposition. Millions of Iranian citizens inside of Iran will now see video messages from the Shah. And you have, like, this is also, like, straight out of, like, V for Vendetta. Look. Look. Man. It's so fucked. Yeah, it is. Why do we care about Iran? They cause problems everywhere.
That's wild, bro.
Yeah, they're causing problems everywhere and doing bullshit. Uh-oh, here we go. Apparently Anonymous claimed responsibility. Well, I hope they did it. I don't know who did it, but whoever did a good thing. So now they're literally beaming in. They're beaming in the Shah's messages to Iranian households on their TV system.
Yeah. Indoctrination. It's called indoctrination.
Man.
You've been indoctrinated your whole entire existence. From birth. From the moment you experienced anyone around you, you were being indoctrinated by the system of mental control because it was already in everyone before you met them. Before you were even here. Before you came out your mama's vagina.
They're the ones financing all the Arabic terrorist organizations? Yeah, they're the main ones. That's cool. Yeah, this is actually a scene out of V for Vendetta. I remember that happened. Yeah, they're probably like, what the fuck, right? And there's one more of these that's worth looking at. Yep. It's a nice TV setup. Yeah, it is. Down. So it's actually on the TV.
Well, yeah, he's showing how it's on his channel.
Absolutely, W hackers. Every channel too? Yeah, apparently. It's like everywhere, and so now everybody's able to see this. Kurdish protesters began to climb walls around the U.S. consulate.
Again, it's called indoctrination, bro. They're attempting to re-indoctrinate as many of the protesters or people as possible through the rhetoric or whatever they're saying on the screen in that language.
Fleet in Iraq? I mean, I would be getting the fuck out of there. Like, if it was the U.S., like, I'd be trying to get as many of my guys out of there as possible. Because, yeah, that kind of stuff is going insane.
Yep, so that was Osmond. See, like, I agreed with one of the things he said, but mostly no, because he doesn't get that he's showing his hypocrisy by talking about this subject and then how he talks about the United States and how that government's allowed to do whatever they want to their citizens without due process, without anything, no matter what. It's justified. Yet it's horrible over there, what's happening over there. Because, see, he's in line with the pushing of Israel crap. Well, not really. He did say that, like, that's the other weird thing is like, I don't know. It's very interesting watching him because he stays in the divided. He'll only talk about subjects when he's reacting to it. I talk about everything all the time, all at once, regardless of where you think it connects or doesn't connect. The only reason I do that is because it all connects. And I'm not going to apologize because you guys can't see how it connects and I can.